This is the first time I've gotten out of bed in a 48-hour period because I have been crying for the last 48 hours. So let's talk about how adversity can make us grow, because I know that I need to talk about this right now, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on in your life, but I'm sure if you clicked on this video or you found it, you probably need to talk about it too. So let's be super honest for a second. I know that none of us actually want to go through a brutal breakup or go through a car accident or have so much stress that you're literally panicking and you can't leave your car because you don't want to go face the reality of what's going on in your life. But the reality of life is that we are all going to have really hard seasons, moments, years, decades. I'm joking. I'm hoping that one's not true. Where everything just feels hard and heavy, and that's okay. That's kind of what life is for. We're here to learn and to grow and to overcome, and that's where adversity comes in, to create change and to create growth. So let's freaking talk about it. I know one of the things that I hate the most about when I'm going through something is hearing the cliches. Like, I was texting a friend yesterday, and I was literally like, how am I supposed to get through this? Like, I physically, mentally cannot get through this. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I feel like I can't stop crying because I just can't handle all the stress that's placed on me right now. And the feeling of rejection, the feeling that like I'm not wanted in their life or this or that. And the response that I got back was simply, time heals everything. Bruh, please. Literally, I never want to hear a cliche like everything happens for a reason. I get it. Or what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kill me now. Just kidding. But it's hard to hear things like that because it feels so invalidating. It feels like you have to go into the pit of everything before you can kind of come out of it, which is the last thing that you want to hear when you're entering a dark and deep and sad cave. When I was in my bachelor's degree, so I have a Bachelor of Science of Psychology, I got really attached to the idea of what happens to us and our brains when we go through stuff like this. Our brains are biologically wired to be lazy. We love routines, comfort, and predictable loops because they require less energy. Adversity is basically a disruption of the autopilot. It forces an immediate, sometimes painful audit of your life. The psych take on it is, in psychology, we talk about how we build a mental framework to understand the world. When a crisis hits, those frameworks shatter. It's terrifying. It feels like you're back to a blank slate in your life. No matter how far you've come, you just went back down to level 0. Instead of asking, why me, which keeps you stuck in a victim loop, try asking, what is this situation exposing about my boundaries, my patterns, or my coping mechanisms? The struggle isn't creating new flaws, it's just showing you where the foundation needs reinforcing. Oftentimes, the violent disruption of our lives is the thing that opens our eyes to what needs to happen. It opens our eyes to what's wrong in our environment, in our ecosystem, in the homeostasis that we're trying to get, which, as we all know, homeostasis isn't exactly an option. It's not something that can happen, but it's something that we strive for as people. And it helps kind of bring to light where that's not being met. When I think about the difference between the physical stress that we feel and the mental stress that we feel, we know that oftentimes, in order to build up our muscles, we have to put them under great lengths of stress, right? That's why my muscles are huge. We think about exposing our bodies to controlled stressors, like a brutal workout or extreme hot and cold. Our muscles and nervous systems are able to adapt to the cold, to the brutal workout, to the stress that we place on it. And because of that adaptation, they get stronger. But your mind is exactly the same. Your brain has this beautiful property called neuroplasticity. It literally rewires its pathways when you are forced to navigate hard, complex situations. Everyone knows about PTSD, but in psych literature, there's an entire counter phenomenon called post-traumatic growth, PTG. It's the empirical proof that human beings don't just suffer after a trial. A huge percentage of people report a massive surge in personal growth, deeper relationships, and a completely redefined sense of purpose because they walked through the fire. You don't build emotional resilience by staying comfortable. Build it by surviving the friction. Here's the trap a lot of us fall into. We try so hard to bounce back. We want to be the exact same person from before the stress. But you can't go back to that old version of yourself because that person didn't have the data, the strength, or the boundaries you have now. You aren't bouncing back, you're bouncing forward. It's not a linear line that we can go backwards on. Growth doesn't actually happen when you're fighting the fire of what's happening in your life. It comes from the recovery. Just like fitness, if you experience high stress but never give yourself the grace, the rest, and the quiet space to process it, you will end up burned out and exhausted. Be gentle with yourself while your mind is rebuilding. So if you're sitting in the same position that I am right now, where I feel like my life in all aspects, in all areas, has bursted into flames and I don't know what to do, just know that you're going to be okay. And I'm getting a phone call. So if you're sitting in one of the darkest, heaviest, scariest seasons of your life right now, or even just a trip and a fall, take a deep breath. Little do you know, everything that's happening to you right now is actually going to make the future so much better. The friction that you are feeling is quite literally the growth that's going to happen. I know for me, I was completely blindsided this week by a couple of relationships in my life. And I'm not going to cry right now. I've cried enough. But to be able to look at it objectively, to the fact that the friction I feel, the pain that I'm having to sustain, doesn't last forever and is only going to constitute an equal and upward spike in 1, my boundaries, 2, my ability to respect myself in the situations I am in, but also 3, my ability to know myself. I'm better getting used to knowing myself and growing from it. The friction you feel is quite literally the proof of the concept. It means you are adapting. You are in the micro tear phase before the muscle grows back stronger. Coming from somebody who is struggling emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, your only job today is to stay in the game, is to treat yourself with kindness and to trust the process. If you feel like you need a hug, I'm here. Leave a comment down below. I'm going through stuff right now too, and as hard as I try, it's not going well. But what I do know is that none of these are unique experiences. As the human race, we've all been through it. We have people to rely on, people who know us, people who can see us, and it's going to be okay. This is kind of my first video that makes any sense. So if you guys like this video, you can subscribe or leave a comment. I want to do more stuff about getting back on your feet because I have had probably the worst year of my life and I still feel like I'm drowning. So I'm thinking that this might be a good process for the two of us to go through to overcome what we're going through. So if you guys like this video, let me know. Love you. I hope you're having a good day. I couldn't get out of bed all day. It's okay if you don't. Take the time that you need. Take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay.